Squatters, salutation, back with another one. Now I'm lost now. I don't understand. I'm so confused. And I believe someone will clarify this for me. I'm so confused with this issue of the DRC, South African National Defense Force, military personnel, stuck there in the DRC, and M23 rebels capturing the GOMA section, and I'm so lost. You know why? Let me quickly break it down for you. President Ramaphosa has got business interest, it's a fact, in the DRC. So it looks like President Ramaphosa made an agreement with the DRC President Tshisekedi to say, come, let's protect our business interests here. The rebels are rising against us. That is a revolution, what we see in the DRC. Okay, fine. The Rwandan president and the Ugandan president, Museveni and Kagame, they are not favorites of Tshisekedi. They have been sidelined because they were vouching for peace. And Tshisekedi refused and said, we are not going to negotiate with the rebels. He calls them rebels, his own citizens, the Congolese. Ne? We have 14 soldiers, our military personnel, who died there in this whole commotion, in the midst of everything. They died there, it's a fact. Another thing, which is a concern, is that they cannot repatriate those bodies. Sorry, they cannot do that. It's a concern. And by the looks, you'll tell me later, squatters, by the looks, it looks like those bodies are not even retrieved, in a sense that they cannot access those soldiers who died there. I might be wrong, but I would like to believe that the bodies are still with the M23 rebels, like in their territory. And the DRC military, together with the South African National Defense Force, they cannot resolve this issue of retrieving those bodies. Because for them to access those bodies, they have to ask for a free passage to retrieve those bodies and bring them so that they can be repatriated. And now, it has been said that our soldiers are captured by the M23 rebels. By the way, let me put it into context. The M23 rebels were not fighting our soldiers. They were fighting their government, the DRC government. Our soldiers, because of the mandate that they got, they started shooting in retaliation. When the rebels were fighting with the DRC military force, our soldiers also interfered. Our soldiers also attacked. Then they were shot, right? And they had to raise a white flag to show that, listen, we're not fighting here, right? We are promoting peace. We are here for a peacekeeping mission, right? Now, the M23 rebels have captured GOMA section. And there's a whole lot of people there who have gathered there, and it is peaceful. The M23 leader is there addressing the people of the DRC. Now you get confused, because the rebels are people who kill. They don't negotiate. They kill. Now, are they really rebels, or are they people who happens to be citizens of the DRC and have some dissatisfaction with their government, and they started a revolution? Let me tell you something, squatters. You can be a very kind person in a country, wherever you are. In a country, you become a complying citizen who wants peace, but sometimes to be too kind, it's tiring. I'm sitting here, I want to believe that the M23 rebels got tired at some point, because this is a war which has been going on for 10 years now, for more than a decade. They have been begging the government to do certain things the right way. The government's reaction was to send the military to attack those people. And when that happens, everybody's quiet. Everybody doesn't say anything. But when there's a retaliation, now we start pointing fingers to President Kagame, saying he is supporting the M23 rebels to attack the DRC military. If that is the case, as the sitting president, Tshisekedi, why don't you find alternative ways to resolve this issue amicably? Not with a military force. The diplomatic way, negotiation table, sit down with those people. The M23 rebels spokespersons, they have mentioned many times that we are willing to sit down around the table and resolve this issue without any war. The DRC government refused and deployed its military with the assistance of our president, Cyril Ramaphosa, deploying the military there for the offensive mission, because these two, they are protecting their business interest, Cyril Ramaphosa and President Tshisekedi. That is why we find ourselves in this situation. Now, South Africans, you need to take into consideration that the bodies of the soldiers who died there might still be stuck there in the camp. And somebody said those bodies now are starting to decompose. You get what I'm saying? It's so sad, because politicians, they can lie up to that extent that now we've got bodies, we are going to repatriate them. Why is it taking so long? I mean, repatriating a soldier who died in a foreign country shouldn't be a long process. Why? Why should it take so long? And by the way, the families of those soldiers are waiting for those bodies to be repatriated back to the country so they can bury their loved ones. The saddest part of this whole thing, the saddest part of this is that the names have been disclosed publicly. We know who and who died there. 14 of our soldiers. What is going to happen? Are we not continuing to humiliate and to traumatize the families who are affected by this whole thing in the name of politics? Does Cyril Ramaphosa care? He doesn't care. For as long as he doesn't have any conscience about the Marikana massacre, why do you think he will care about those soldiers there? He doesn't care. They continue to deploy those soldiers there. And the M23 rebels, as much as they have captured the GOMA, they are saying they want peace. People have gathered there, dancing, celebrating. I don't understand this whole thing. If they were really rebels who wanted to kill, why can't they just eliminate those people, switch them off? There, they've gathered a lot of people there. And they are raising their hands, celebrating, worshipping the leaders of the M23. The very same citizens, the Congolese, they are not scared of the rebels. So sometimes the media feeds us with wrong information, knowing very well that a lot of people don't really have time to think and make their own analysis about these issues. They keep on relying on the news. Some people, they switch on their television, watch the news, and consume everything that they see on the television. They switch off the television, and they'll go around with the same perception. People like us, we sit down, we analyze, we check, we verify, say, oh, but why this? Why this? You start to question. That is why it is so difficult to convince someone like me that this is what it is. I need facts. Maybe you squatters will convince me otherwise, but I'm worried that are we really having what the media is painting, the picture that the media is painting? There's media there, the GOMA. There's people who have gathered there. The very same rebels are there protecting the people. Say nothing will happen to these people who are here. We are in control now. I can sense that there's going to be a military coup in the DRC. Many African countries, the leaders are doing exactly that. They abuse their power. They continue to exploit people, its own citizens, until the citizens get exhausted and start now taking up arms to defend their own country. Because watching your country going down, that is the most painful thing you can ever go through. Exactly the same thing that is happening in South Africa. If people like President Cyril Ramaphosa don't listen to the people will rise at some point. They will rise themselves. When it's time to do that, they will just wake up one morning and do that. It's so sad because the leaders don't care. They are actually looking after their stomach. It's so sad. I don't know how much more longer it will take our government to repatriate those bodies back to the country. I don't know. It's so sad. Families are waiting. They've been crying. I don't know until when. It's like you died in the exiles there. You know, back in those years, when you die in the exile, sometimes your family don't get to know because it was apartheid, it was hectic. In this democratic dispensation, people die there. The families have to wait for more than 2 weeks. They're still waiting. We're still counting. I don't know. It's so sad because people, the same thing. You know, I don't take everything that the media is saying in a sense that when I look at President Kagame and what he said, that people are prioritizing their personal interests, their business interests. So that is why it's so difficult to resolve this issue. And I start to believe that, yeah, for sure. I saw on the media, you know, they follow him in my footsteps. I said that President Cyril Ramaphosa has got business interests there. Mines, to be specific. So we need to question that. We need to really question it, to be concerned about that. That why? Why is this happening? And then what is going on here? And we need to preserve lives. We have lost lives, 14 soldiers. Are we willing to lose more? Those who are remaining there, the defense force, they are captured there in the camp, the fighting camp. They are captured there. They have to ask to go to the bathroom. They are carrying rifles, but there's nothing they can do because there's M23 rebels inside their camp and outside. So they cannot try to pull the trigger because they will just switch them off. That is bound to happen. So they won't, but they are captured there. How do we get our soldiers back? President Cyril Ramaphosa should have an answer for this because he's the one who put our military in that predicament. It's a problem. It's a serious concern. I don't know, squatters, how we are going to resolve this, but it's a matter of a serious concern. I don't know. We can't get our soldiers. Our military personnel are captured there by the M23 rebels. I don't know. This needs a sober mind. not a political solution, but diplomatic solution. Let's put politics aside. This must be resolved. It's a matter of a concern. It's a state of emergency. So, I don't know. Maybe these two presidents feels that more soldiers must die before they do something. Thank you, squatters, for watching my content. Let's keep engaging. Sharp.